This course is unique. It will give you the tools to vastly improve the way you work with data. It's not an Excel course, and it's not an Access course, and it's definitely not a programming course. This is a course that teaches Excel users how to take advantage of Access, and only the features you need. Why is it your advantage to integrate Access with Excel? Because Excel lacks the capabilities of a database when it comes to working with data. Integrating Access leads to secure data, more reliable information, all in a lot less time. This course is for you if you particularly work with large amounts of data in Excel, rely on Excel data tools such as pivot tables, VLOOKUPs, subtotals, and filters, find that working with data in Excel is time-consuming and error-prone, want to be the go-to person for data analysis, are simply interested in an introduction to working with databases. Why is integrating Access with Excel the right choice for you? Database programs, not spreadsheets, are designed to work with data. Therefore, you have far more data tools available that are easy to use and can be reapplied when your data changes. Is Access difficult to learn? Not at all. I learned it all on an as-needed basis, and I teach it just as I learned it. Do I need to keep studying Access? No, you'll be able to do a lot after this course, but if you want to learn more, go for it. What if I don't already own Access? Microsoft offers an annual subscription to Office 365 that is very reasonable. Please contact me if you have any questions. I hope you enjoy the course. In this lesson, you will learn about the assignment that will be the basis for your learning over the following 16 lessons. The assignment is designed to provide a learning experience that will be extremely helpful when you find yourself having to report on data in Excel and you want to do it efficiently and effectively. You may never have another assignment just like this, but you will likely think about it many times in the future as you apply the knowledge you gain from it. It all began with an email I received from a former coworker that needed help. I'll share the main part of the email. My boss sent me an email telling me she'll be sending me 3 spreadsheets at the beginning of every month, and she needs 10 reports back within a couple of days. She needs them to prep for the monthly management meetings she attends, and she wants them in Excel. I am pretty good with Excel. I know I could brush up on my formulas and pivot tables, but when I saw the data and the range of reports, I got very stressed, and I have so much work on top of this. Then came a big surprise. I remember all that stuff you used to do with Access and Excel, but I never had the time for you to show me. Is there any way I could learn now? I think it would really help me. It was a big surprise because it's common for people to resist Access for the following reasons. It's an optional part of the Office suite. It's a database program. The belief that databases are used by programmers, not everyday Excel users. But the truth is, you can use it to great advantage with Excel and no programming is required. Attached to the email were 3 Excel files and the list of reports. Let's have a look at the files. Products, salespersons, transactions. Notice that the transaction table uses an ID number for the salesperson and product number rather than the actual name. And here are the reports your supervisor wants. As you read down the list, you will see that not only will we need all the Excel files, but we'll first have to connect them and apply a number of formulas and functions to get the results. My friend is right. It would be very challenging and time-consuming to produce 10 accurate reports every month. In the end, of course I helped my friend, and our work together was so successful that I decided to turn the experience into this course. Whether you're desperate like my friend, or just have a desire to learn something very valuable, you've come to the right place. So in this lesson we covered the problem. In lesson 2 we will look at the solution. In lesson 1 you saw the problem. In this lesson you will see the solution. The steps we will take to move our data into Access and produce the reports we will need. By the end of the lesson, you will understand the entire process. The project starts with the 3 spreadsheets we call transactions, products, and salespersons. We'll load the spreadsheets individually into Access. Once the spreadsheets are all loaded into Access, they will become data tables that we will join together using an Access query. We will then create additional queries to produce the reports, and finally we can copy the reports back to Excel. More specifically, we will follow 4 steps, but only the first time. In the future, when your data changes, you will get the new results in just a few mouse clicks. Here are the initial steps. Step 1. Make sure the structure of the spreadsheets meet your needs. What that means is making sure the columns in Excel are properly named and the data is correct. This will be covered in detail in Lesson 3. Step 2. Run the import routine using the Import Wizard. This is a tool in Access that is right here, and all you have to do is click on it and follow the instructions to bring your Excel spreadsheets into Access. After you do it once, you save the process so you can do it with a mouse click the next time. This will be covered in detail in Lesson 4. Step 3. Create query objects to report on the data in your newly created tables, formerly Excel spreadsheets. We will cover queries in several lessons beginning with Lesson 5. Step 4. Run the queries and bring the information back to Excel. We will cover this in Lesson 12. In the following months, this process will be 3 simpler steps. Step 1. Verify the spreadsheets are consistent with the prior month. Step 2. Run the saved import wizard. And Step 3. Run the queries you previously created and bring the information back to Excel. The bottom line is that when your data changes, all you have to do is make sure your Excel sheets have the same structure, and then you just run the import wizard you saved and the queries you saved. It's all just mouse clicks, and once again, why a database is the right platform for doing this kind of work. In this lesson, we covered the 4 initial steps you have to take to migrate your data to Access, get your report information, and bring it back to Excel. We also covered how the process will get simpler next time. In the next lesson, you'll learn how to prepare your spreadsheets for import into Access. I'll see you there. Welcome to Lesson 3. In this lesson, we will cover the requirements to import your spreadsheets into Access. Once you understand the requirements, it should take you very little time to make sure they are ready to go. The following is a checklist that we will go over using the 3 Excel spreadsheets from our assignment. Number 1. Sufficient information. The information on products, salespersons, and transactions is sufficient without any changes. But if you're doing your own project, you would have to make sure the spreadsheets contain the information required to produce the results you want. This will become clearer as we go through the course. Number 2, proper format. Make sure your data is in table format, which means records are in rows and the column headings show the different types of data in each row. You can't have data spread all around the spreadsheet because Access won't be able to import it. It has to be organized and neatly lined up in table format. Number 3, unique identifying fields. Make sure there's one field that uniquely identifies each record on your spreadsheet so you can join it to others, just as you would in Excel. The unique fields are named primary key fields when you import your spreadsheets into Access. Primary keys will also put Access on the lookout for duplicate records, so it can give you a message if it finds any. If so, you can go back to Excel and fix your data. The primary key in the salesperson table is clearly salesperson, and product number in the product table. These fields also exist in the transaction table, which, as you'll see later on, allows you to make the connections. The use of primary keys will be clearer when we start building queries, so don't be concerned if it's a little confusing right now. Number 4, confirming field types are correct. Text versus numbers. You have to make sure all your field types are correct. For example, if your salesperson column is text in one spreadsheet and a number in the other, it will not allow Access to join them, nor would it work if you're doing a VLOOKUP in Excel. Also, if you want to do calculations on some of your columns, you have to make sure they are numeric fields as opposed to text. Number 5, name the sheets in your workbook that you want your Access table names to be, because when they are created, they will take those names. We name the Excel files and the sheets the same for clarity, and make sure no 2 sheet names are duplicated. Number 6, cleaning up the spreadsheet. If you have any data, even a space that you can't see beyond the data you're intending to import, it will make your import more difficult because Access tries to import everything on the worksheet. Therefore, it is essential and easy to clean up before the import. Your data should always start in cell A1 and work down and across from there. And you should always delete all columns to the right of the last column in your table and delete all rows beneath the last row. This will assure there is no extra data. even a space entry you can't see. I'm going to demonstrate this using the transactions table. Let's highlight a large group of columns at right and delete them. Next, we'll get rid of the excess rows. Go to row 502 beneath all the data, and then let's delete a few hundred rows. If you still have data problems, such as Access trying to import extra rows or columns, you can just go back to your sheet, do a more thorough cleanup, and do the import over again. Number 7. Give your spreadsheets a generic name and save them in the same directory that you will always use when you have new data. As you can see in my example, I use product, salesperson, and transactions as file names and save them in a directory called Integrate Access Uploads. You can also save the files with the name of the month in another directory so you have each month's activity and it doesn't get overwritten. And that's it. In this lesson, you learn the steps to prepare your Excel spreadsheets for importing into Access. And in the next lesson, that's what we're going to do. I'll see you there.